What's going on, everybody? It's TheKidBHart, and you guys are watching Glo Up Era.
Things upset you.
Grinded, then I got it. Me and my brothers acting out of pocket. She calling me toxic. Way too much cash, can't close my wallet. Money won't stop calling. I told my girl I'm moving smarter.
I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. I grew up here. My family's from here. Most of my friends are from here. TheKidBHart, I'm an artist. I've been making music for like 3 years now. I started when I was 13. I got into it around 8th grade, just on some fun shit. I was just making a diss track with my guys, and some people just told me to get in the studio, so I got in the studio, started having some fun. Ever since then, I've been locked in with a couple artists, done a couple shows around the country, went on tour with a couple of my guys, stayed out in Sacramento for a little bit, worked on some more music, and now I'm back in Fort Wayne right now, and shooting this interview with Glo Up Era. So it feels good, but yeah, that's where we come from. TheKidBHart originally came from one of my friends. His name was Dennis. He called me B-Heart in one of our 8th grade soccer games behind the bleachers. My real name is Braden Hartzog, so he just called me B-Heart, just a nickname. And I was just always a younger kid. I mean, even now, I lived with a bunch of older people. When I was out in Sacramento, I was always the young cat around the older guys, so everyone just referred to me as the kid, so I just put 2 and 2 together, TheKidBHart. That's my stage name now.
I'm so sick and tired of these.
I feel like everywhere I'm at and the time and place has an effect on my music. I wouldn't say it's as much influential, but the people I'm around and the area I'm in always has an effect on what I make and what I'm feeling. So I wouldn't say really any artist in specific, but I think the energy here and the amount of talent that is here does push me to go harder every day, because I realize that there is a lot of competition here, and I just like to go harder and prove that I'm the best every day. So being here definitely makes me want to go harder, and Fort Wayne's definitely a great city for music for sure. There's a lot of potential here.
Could you slide tonight? I told you I'll be there.
I think major labels can be beneficial, but only for the right people. I think that deals and contracts that you can get into, that you can be offered, aren't really what they seem, obviously. Even coming from somebody such as myself who's not signed, I'm aware of what goes on in the industry and the type of things that they make you want to do and the type of things they want to take from you. So I'm aware of that, and I think for the right people, it's the right decision, but for other people, you just gotta focus and really realize that you only got yourself and that nobody else is gonna help you through the music stuff. That's one thing I had to realize. I was always waiting on somebody else to get me in the studio or to offer to shoot my music videos or to make a product for me, but you really gotta realize that it's all on yourself, and you're never gonna have an opportunity to work with a label like that or a bigger company like that if you don't put in the work yourself. So I think a lot of people get brainwashed into believing, as soon as I get the label, I'm going to be famous. It's actually backwards. You don't really get the label until you get famous.
Me and the gang, okay.
I plan on staying independent for as long as I can, yeah. I have been on a deal before with a label, R&E, and that was more of a, more like a family thing, more of a collaborative thing. I wouldn't necessarily call it a record deal, but I think if I can continue to work collaboratively with the people that I like to be around and the energy I surround myself with, I've got a good group of people pushing me. So I think that's really all I need right now. I don't really have any plans of signing any deals I've been offered, but like I said, it's always moment in time. So if I get older and I think it's going to benefit me and it'll benefit my career and the people around me, and then I'll make that decision. But as of right now, I plan on staying independent for as long as I can.
Don't ever feel the pain. I hear the shit that they say, but they always ride away today, okay?
Caleb Swanigan is a basketball player who is a good friend of mine. Well, we call him Biggie, actually, because he has a good story. When he was a little child, he went through a lot of rough times. He was really overweight, and as he got older, he got focused. He got locked into basketball, moved in with the right people, got himself surrounded by love, and he really started working. And he got himself together and made himself a first-round pick in the NBA. And Caleb is really inspiring just as a person and his story. But Caleb to me is more of a brother. I think what Caleb did for me is something nobody else has ever done, especially coming from the situation that I come from and the other people I knew that he helped, what situations we all came from. he was just always trying to help us out and trying to give us a platform to where our voices will be heard in our music. Caleb is actually the one who brought me out to Sacramento last year on his label R&E. That's why I was out there for a year. I did some shows with them. Made a lot of music, ran some sessions, met a lot of people. It was actually really fun. It was a great bonding time for me and some of my brothers out there. And I think that Biggie has really opened my eyes to being an individual and having to realize that I got to go get it myself. Even being in a house with 8 other people every day out there, I was almost in my own little zone. Everybody was, really. It wasn't just me. And we were all working on becoming better people every single day. And it was because Biggie gave us the infrastructure. And, you know, now that we're all back in Fort Wayne, even Biggie's back in Fort Wayne, we're all doing our own thing now, just trying to lock in. It really all helped us when we were out there develop that individual work ethic, because we realized that it takes hard work. If your life sucks, it sucks because of you, and nobody wants to hear the truth. That's just the truth. If you're sad, if you're not glad at where you're at right now, it's because you're not going hard enough. And shit, he's probably made me cry a couple times, but it's just because it's the truth. Like, that's just how it is, and that's how he tells you things. And it's really heartfelt, and it's real love, to be honest. So I think Biggie to me is just almost a role model, regardless of any mistakes he's made. I think he's shown me a lot, and he's shown me that, you know, no matter what you go through, you have to keep persevering, because nobody else is going to help you, and you just got to do it all yourself. In 2021, I plan to produce more content outside of music. I've been locked in on just making songs and beats probably for the last year, maybe 2 years. So I think that this next coming year, I'm going to focus on producing more videos, more behind the scenes. I might maybe even do some live streaming on Twitch, things like that. I want to get a podcast started. You know, I've also started my brand, Count Your Blessings, which has been a big role of my success lately. A lot of people have been showing love to it, and I continue to produce every week, and I plan on doing that next year as well. Count Your Blessings is my brand. I'm wearing it right now. It's something I started in October of 2020. I've had the design and label around for probably about 3 years, but I didn't really get it put on a t-shirt and put onto some products until this year. So I'm really thankful that we were able to get that done. I think that Count Your Blessings has played, like I said, a huge role in developing me as an artist and my fan base. There's a lot of people that listen to my music that I've grown a bigger connection with just because they can see this when they look down in the mirror every day and when they look at themselves. So I think that's a huge part of building a relationship with the people who enjoy my music, because to me it's more than music. You know, when people text me and tell me that my music helped them get through something, or that somebody saw their merch out and said it was a good message, that's just all I'm ever trying to do. I think Count Your Blessings is going to continue to grow how it is, but it's going to be a lot different at the same time. Right now, production has only been on a certain amount of t-shirts at once, or a certain amount of hoodies, or a certain amount of sweatpants, but I'm looking to expand into getting other things other than just t-shirts and hoodies and things like that. Actually, next week we're dropping our first line of lanyards. We're dropping our first line of beanies too, and face masks. So I'm hoping to just keep expanding and finding new products that people are enjoying. And I'm also looking forward to boosting the quality as well. I've got some more hoodies coming in that are going to be embroidered and on some Champion material. So that's definitely a big step. And yeah, it's definitely a little more pricey, but for the people that are around and actually want to support it and actually want to get the message around, they always know that you know, everything comes with a price and everything you need. I think my favorite thing outside of music alone, being in the studio and having that raw process of making beats and making something out of nothing, is definitely doing the shows. The live shows are the most fun. Seeing everybody out there with the energy, singing my lyrics back to me, jumping, having their lights up, their cameras flashing, it's always awesome. It's a feeling that is always reassuring. No matter how many people are in the crowd, you know, some people will look at a show with 100 people and, will say that show was trash. There was only 100 people there. But every time I do a show, no matter how many people are there, I always look and I'm like, okay, well, you got to find the good in something. So every time I do a show, I always feel accomplished, and I always feel like I got something done. And it just makes me believe in myself even more because I see everybody else believing in me. No matter how many people there are, it always gives me reassurance. And it's always fun. Like I said, it's always a rush, and no cap, I always get a little nervous before I go on stage. And then as soon as I get on stage, all the nerves go away. I just remember I'm out here having fun, making music. Everybody's enjoying it. So I definitely love doing the shows, but I can't lie, I'd be nervous until I get on stage. I think the biggest problem that I've had to encounter coming up was looking too much for validation. When I was a little kid, I mean, not even little really, when I had first got to middle school, I was always worried about fitting in and getting invited to parties and being the cool kid. And it really took a toll on me mentally and emotionally. I really didn't have a lot of friends in middle school. I got picked on. And that was the biggest challenge for me coming up, was not even with the music, but finding out who I was, because I never really had anybody pushing me or telling me what to do. And I think that is what really brought me to make music, when I realized that, bro, none of these people really like you, dog. Like, they don't fuck with you. They don't want to see you succeed. They're just all out here doing their own little shit. They're all posting on their Snapchats and their stories. They all want to look cool. But nah, you gotta be cool. And I had to find my definition of cool. And my definition of cool was being myself. And I remember when I was in middle school, I used to play soccer. And I mean, even before that, I played soccer forever, my whole life. I'm still pretty good at it, if I'm not gonna lie to you. But I realized once I got into those years that I was playing soccer for validation from my family, because both of my older brothers were very good at soccer, and the coaches loved them. They had both played varsity the freshman years. They were insanely good. And I was always trying to fit in, whether it was with my friends in middle school, whether it was with my family. I was always trying to validate my decisions because of someone else or something else. And once I got to 8th grade, I realized what my definition of cool was being myself. I'm fucking awesome. I love myself. And I was like, shit, I just got to start being myself. And I had actually been in band from, I think it was my 4th grade year to my 7th grade year, because I loved music. That was just, I played the trumpet. I just loved music. That was what I always did. And I never assumed I was going to be a rapper or whatever. But when the time came around, I realized, okay, I want to be different. I don't want to fit in. I want to be myself. So I realized that I had this natural given gift for music, and it wasn't even in lyrics yet. It was just in melodies and patterns and flows and having rhythmic rhythms. But that's when I realized that was for me. And in 8th grade, I linked up with this other guy from my city and made my first song, and I put it out. And I didn't expect anybody to listen to it at all. I just expected, some hate, some clowning. Maybe my good friends would repost it on their stories, but it got a lot of views. I think on SoundCloud today it probably has probably upwards of 20,000 views. And in my 8th grade year, I remember seeing that touch 10,000 plays in the first 3 or 4 months. And I was just, I was shook. I mean, I know it might not even sound like a lot. It doesn't even sound like a lot to me anymore. But back then, it was crazy. Knowing that many people had heard it, and just whether they liked it or not, they had knew what was going on. And I think that moment in time when I saw that number, I realized, okay, it doesn't matter what I'm doing. It matters that these people are seeing it and they're paying attention to what I'm doing. They care for it. They care enough to take the time out of their day to pay attention to what I'm doing. And, I always tell all my artists that are coming up, not even my artists, but my friends that are artists, if you're watching a YouTube video and someone clicks on the YouTube video and hits the dislike button, it don't matter. You're getting paid because of the view, not because of the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Publicity, any publicity is good publicity. You don't want to ruin your reputation. Don't be stupid. But you got to get your name out there. You can't be scared. In 8th grade, I didn't want to get in the studio and put a song out. I was scared. But when I did, everybody heard it. Or not everybody. Can't say that. I don't want to sound cocky. But a lot of people heard it. And I realized, okay, well, people are going to pay attention to this. I'm different. Like, I'm going to lock in on this. People are interested in this. So I'm going to show people why I'm different, why they should be interested in me. I'm not going to fit into this crowd of everybody doing the same shit. It's boring, and I got tired of being the same as everybody else. This year alone, in 2020, not even as my career, but on a personal level too, it's changed me the most, and I bet a lot of people can relate to that. I've had to learn a lot how to deal with my internal thoughts and my emotions while maintaining a level head and getting work done and staying productive. But I think the main thing about this year was just learning to be patient and learning to believe in myself. I had a lot of self-doubt even when I first moved to Sacramento, and I felt like I was on top of the world. I had a lot of self-doubt because I was surrounded by such successful people, and it made me kind of feel like I was never going to be that successful. But then I realized, like, what are you doing? I started realizing the crowds I was hanging around, some NBA players, some bigger artists that were upcoming. I was like, why do I feel discouraged, and why do I feel like I'm not going to make it to the level they're at, when in reality I was surrounding myself with successful people? So I had to realize that it's all in your self-belief and that it's all in your head. If I'm going to look at it either way, I can tell myself that I'm never going to be this person, or I can take what they tell me and use it as my own advice, take that own information and process it, and take it and put it to my life and my experiences and become a better person and become a bigger artist, a more influential person, spread more messages, make the world a better place. Really, that's all everybody's trying to do. And I think that this year has really given me a road to find happiness. Even though it's been a tough road, there's been a lot of potholes, it's definitely leading me down the right path. Regardless of how hard it is, I think I'm going through what I'm going through for a reason, and everybody else that's watching this too. I think the amount of work that I put in at such a young age and the amount of focus that I have on my work really has to do with the age that I am and the amount of people that really want it as bad as I do. Regardless of how far somebody is in their career, or how many views they have, or how many followers or likes they get on their posts, I'm able to see that a lot of people in this city, specifically Fort Wayne, believe it or not, have a drive for music at a young age. Whether it's music videos, making art, everybody has a drive for something, and it's a really creative city, but there's a lot of people pushing energy on each other that drains the creativity, and it never is good for any sort of work or collaboration here. So I think me staying focused is being able to realize that there are a lot of creative people in my city that want to do the things that I'm doing, or want to collaborate with me, or I want to collaborate with them, but the energy isn't always going to match. Regardless of how close you are with a person, some people just can't get work done together. And I had to realize that knowing myself and realizing who I am and how I get work done helps me as an artist and helps me as an individual get things done. And so I think over these past 6 months, I've slowly been condensing my circle and becoming more aware of who I am and more mature. And it's really helping me become more focused on my work, which is really all I want. I've got the merch out these past couple months. I've got some more singles out. I've got a project in the works. And it's just a lot more things that have been going on in my life that feel a lot more organized. And I think it really is because of my age. And it's just motivating to me when I see other people wanting to get the bag too and get to it. So it motivates me to be a better person and to work harder, really. My supporters are definitely the best people I know. They're the whole reason I make music, the whole reason I continue to put out new sounds and new products and new merchandise. Without them, I definitely want to be where I'm at today. I want to be able to make money or eat or put out these clothes. And about making a real relationship with them, I think it's all about being a real person. When somebody tells you how your music makes them feel, you got to respond, you got to relate and tell them, like, I felt the same way. And I went through the same struggle, and we can get through this together. You're not going through this alone. And it's also more than music. Like I said, you can't just post a song and expect people to go show love to it. Like, you got to have a real life relationship with people, and they got to be able to relate to you. And I feel like especially making my merchandise, this was a big way for me to relate to my fans and, you know, almost be with them at all times. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but when people see this on their body and they look themselves in the mirror, they're just reminded, you know, count your blessings, stay positive, and, you know, it's just a message that comes from the heart. And like I said, I don't want people to just hear my music and think, oh, that's the Kid BHart. I want people, you know, to see my shirts and be like, that's the positive message that this kid is trying to spread. That's the positive message that all his supporters are trying to bring. I don't just want to be another artist, another SoundCloud rapper, whatever you want to call it. I'm trying to make a change. I think my biggest musical influences come from Juice WRLD is number one for sure. I spin all his music on a daily, unreleased tracks, all his release stuff. I literally know almost every word to every single Juice WRLD song. Especially his sounds, they definitely play a role in the music I make, and the keys I put my songs in, and the BPMs I have, and the way I go about talking about things. He definitely has a big influence on it. Frank Ocean is also another artist that has a huge influence on the sounds I make. I think the way that Frank takes so much time to make sure the sound is perfect and to make sure he's getting a feeling across, not just the sound. That's the main thing in music, is you want to feel it. You know, it's not a tangible thing. You can't touch the music. You can hear it and you can feel it. So it's all about getting as much emotion across as you can in one track or in one album. And I think Frank Ocean does a great job at doing that. And another person that I've been influenced by recently, listening to a lot, is a Role Model. I've been listening to his music probably for like 6 months now. I just like his mix of pop and hip-hop music. I've been trying to throw it a little bit into my style. The way he just flows on things and the way he mixes two sounds together, I really like it, especially growing up. I listen to a lot of Bruno Mars and pop music like that, so hearing Role Model kind of combine the two, even Juice WRLD did the same, just hearing the two music come together, it's definitely something that I'm interested in, and it definitely influences the music I make. Once again, thank you guys all for watching this one-on-one interview with Glo Up Era. I am TheKidBHart, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this. If you want to take some more time out of your day to go stream my newest single, it will be linked in the description below. Go listen to Sinners Everywhere. And once again, thank you guys for watching.